Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make these batik fabric beads. They're really easy to make. They take maybe 10 minutes each, or 5-10 minutes each, and they're really beautiful. They look good on necklaces, other kind of bracelets, other kinds of jewelry too. I think they'd even be pretty if you could do it with an earring. So let's get started. You're just going to need a few things. You're going to need batik fabric strips, like so. This one's about 1 inch wide and about 4 inches long. You don't want it any longer than that, because it's going to get really thick and it'll be hard to sew through. You're going to need seed beads. You're going to need fabric glue, and I use gloves with this. I definitely do not use this glue. This is really strong glue, the type I use. You can use whatever brand you'd like. This one I use because it's really strong, and I use the gloves because it's really irritating to the skin and the eyes. You got to be really careful using the glue. Please follow the directions on the type of glue you're going to use. You're going to need chopsticks or some other sort of like a pencil or a knitting needle, whatever you want to use. I like chopsticks because I have them left over from Chinese food on takeout sometimes. You're going to need some good thread. I highly recommend using a thimble. This is the fabric. There's quite a few layers. It's hard to push the needle through, and you're going to want to use that or your fingers are going to get chewed up. And lastly, you're going to need some good needles. Seed beads are notoriously small and hard to work with, so I use a quilting between number 10 because the seed bead fits over it, and it's a nice strong needle. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is put our gloves on, because we're going to wrap the fabric around the chopstick. These gloves are always a pain to put on, but believe me, they'll save your skin. You're going to take a chopstick and a piece of fabric and your glue, and I use a toothpick that I have. You're going to start wrapping. You're going to want to start on that edge. Just get a little bit of glue. You don't need a whole lot. This little bit goes a long way. It's really tacky glue. You're going to just put that on the edge just a little bit. See how it's already getting on the glove? And then you're going to carefully roll it. This can be a little bit tricky. You're just going to roll it along until you're done. Okay, and then just going to add a little bit of glue right there at the end. You do not need a lot. This stuff is really strong. And you're just going to finish it off and tack it down. And there you go. And you're going to set that aside to dry for maybe, I don't know, about half an hour. So I usually do these overnight. I just do a whole bunch at once, and then line them up and get ready to sew the next day. Before you set it aside to dry, though, you definitely want to pull it just gently, so in case you got some glue on the chopstick, it comes loose and it doesn't dry on it. So you're going to set those aside, take your gloves off, and then you're ready to start putting the beads on. So you're going to need your seed beads, and you're going to start like so. I already have a threaded needle and a knot at the end. You're going to come up through the inside of the bead of the fabric along the chopstick, and you're going to just push your needle through wherever you want to start with your first bead. Pull it out, grab a seed bead, which is sometimes easier said than done, and you're going to put your needle in adjacent, really right next to where you came up before. You don't want a lot of thread showing. You're going to go down, and I like to just sort of feel the chopstick and then slide the needle along this chopstick and then bring it up wherever you want to have your next bead, wherever you want your next bead to be. And that's about, I usually space them about 1/4 inch apart. Pull it up. There you go. There's one bead. Grab another bead. You're going to go down again right next to where you came up, and then about a 1/4 inch away, come up again. It can get a little tough, especially where the glue is, to push it through. That's why you need that thimble. I did it once, when the first time I did it without a thimble, it was not a good thing. So pull that up, and you're just going to keep going all the way around the bead. You want to cover the whole bead. You want to cover all the fabric. And then when you're done, you have 1 bead left to do. This is all I wanted to do for this bead. For this fabric bead, you're going to add 1 more seed bead. Grab it. And instead of coming up through the fabric, you're going to go down through and you're going to come out the one end. That's why I suggest you always end near to one of the edges of the bead. And you're going to come out between the layers. Get some of those fuzzy strings away. Might be easier to see it like this. Pull that last bead out. Okay, let's get rid of all that extra thread. There will be a lot of extra threads when you're done. You'll just cut them off later. Now, to knot this off and to secure the beads, you're going to bring your needle back through the layers alongside the chopstick, up next to where you put the last bead in. And I get like right next to it. It's sort of hard to see. I hope you can see that okay. You're just going to pull it out. Okay. And then you're going to grab a little bit of the fabric underneath and a little bit, maybe one of the threads. Again, it's sort of hard to see. And you're going to come up, and I do this twice just for security. And do it again. You're just going to come up. You're just going to get a little bit of that fabric, because you won't be able to see this once it's knotted off. You're going to make yourself a loop. I'm going to get rid of all these fabrics, these threads. Okay. And then once you have that loop, you're going to make your knot. I just go around twice, and you're going to gently pull, tug it tight. And it's up to you if you want to do another one. In this case, I won't, but I can show you again how to knot it off. You're just going to come up right underneath it. Leave that loop, come in, go around twice, tug it nice and firmly, not too tight, you don't want to pull anything. And then you're going to snip right at the edge without cutting the knot. And slide it off, and there you've got your fabric bead. Perfect for your necklace. I have a nice leather rope here that I am going to feed them onto and make a really pretty necklace out of them. So I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks for watching.